Good morning.
Morning.
You all say good morning.
Good morning.
Everybody, even you all over in the corners, say good morning. Good morning. I know you sit on the side, so you don't think anybody's talking to you. Nobody pays attention to you. You just think I'm looking at the front folks. I want to welcome you. I'm glad you're here. I want to tell you that, you might not have a clue because you don't follow Facebook. I have had a lifetime of experiences in the last week where Brian Goodsell chose to travel back to his hometown and go to a life celebration of a friend from high school where he had passed, I don't know how long ago, but not long, and he was going to drive down for the celebration of life. It was simply 1,200 miles. And we left, and I asked, I invited myself, said I didn't want him to go by himself, and I know Jamie, his wife, was thrilled that I, of all people, who you know my driving record, would go with him. I who sleep when I drive, I who speed when I drive, I do everything you shouldn't do behind the steering wheel. So I went with him, and we left Tuesday morning about 8:30, and that day we drove 14 hours, I believe. At least 8:30, we stopped at 10:30 that night, and then the next day we drove another, 42 days. It felt like anyway. 1,200 miles one way. We made it to Ord. I did say it right. So you who are in Tennessee and you think that sounds like a dumb name, it is. But don't make fun of it. In Nebraska. Okay, you got to be smart enough to do that. We went to Ord, Nebraska, where there's a population of 300, and the thing they're famous for is, somebody say, runzas.
Runza.
Yeah, see, we got 2 Nebraska people in here. Is there anybody else in Nebraska? Good. I'm going to wear them out today. Runzas. They have little drive-thrus. With runzas, and everything that you think of when you think of the name Runza, like it could give you the runzas, right? I mean, it's exactly what's there. They said, I said, what's in it? He said cabbage, and I said, no, thank you. Don't have a clue. There's nothing nutritional about cabbage. And then they boil it, and I'm like, how worse can it get? It's already nasty. So anyway, we made it to Nebraska. I got to see, we went through St. Louis, and I got to see the Cardinals park. It was great. Kansas City Royals playing the first game. We drove by the stadium when they were playing the game that night about, it's 9 or 10 o'clock. At least 10 o'clock. It was just nothing but a cool trip. And then I got to get on a $250,000 combine. And literally we were harvesting soybean. And this guy owned about 4,000 owned probably 4,000 acres of land. And I just had experience after experience. I'm not going to tell you a few of the others, but those were absolutely great. And we made it. So we went down Tuesday, arrived there Wednesday, left Thursday, and drove 1,200 miles back. Ended up in Knoxville on Friday night, Friday evening. Went to the ball game yesterday. So exciting to watch Tennessee play 9-10 score. It's like watching a baseball game. And thus we don't play Rocky Top until they win at church. And again, for those of you who are religious, we will do irreligious things. Can I get an amen? Okay. Amen. And and then made it home last night. What a week. Sometime you ought to go with me. It's fun to live my life. All right, all that's out of the way. And those of you who are guests, I told you that story just to give you something good prior to the message. Because the message is probably not going to be that great today. So if you will, I remind you that in the teaching that we've been in, the last week was the first week of 3 or 4 weeks where the teaching that really orients around friendship. And thus, last week, it was last week. Some of you probably don't know.